You are sitting in a quiet room. Nothing is wrong. The door is closed, the lights are on, and you are completely safe. And then, for no reason at all, the hair on the back of your neck stands up. You feel it before you can name it. A pull, a pressure, the absolute certainty that something is watching you. Nothing is there. You know that, but your body doesn't care what you know. That feeling has a name. Scientists call it hypervigilance, but the real name, the one that tells you what it actually is survival. It is 2 million years of your ancestors refusing to die, compressed into a single moment of irrational dread. Your brain is not broken. Your brain is doing exactly what it was built to do. The problem is, it was built for a world that no longer exists. To understand why your nervous system treats a quiet room like a hunting ground, you have to go back. Not centuries, not thousands of years, millions. Your earliest ancestors did not sit at the top of the food chain. That is the story we tell ourselves now, looking backward from a position of dominance. But for most of human prehistory, you were not the apex predator. You were the prey. Paleoanthropologist Robert Sussman spent decades challenging the popular image of early humans as aggressive hunters. What the fossil record actually shows, he argued, is something far more uncomfortable. Early hominins, the small-brained, upright-walking creatures that eventually became you, were eaten regularly, systematically, by eagles, by leopards, by saber-toothed cats, by crocodiles, by animals that hunted in packs and at night, and from above and below, and from directions you could not predict. The skulls they left behind tell the story. Puncture marks from eagle talons, teeth scrapes from big cats, evidence of being dragged, dismembered, consumed. For 2 million years, something was always trying to kill your ancestors, and the ones who survived were the ones who never, not for a single moment, forgot that. This is where your brain gets its wiring. The structure responsible for your sense of threat is called the amygdala. It sits deep inside your brain, small and almond-shaped, and it has one job: detect danger before your conscious mind has time to think. Neuroscientist Joseph LeDoux spent years mapping what he called the low road of fear, the pathway by which sensory information bypasses your rational prefrontal cortex entirely and goes straight to the amygdala. The amygdala fires first. It asks questions second. In the time it takes you to consciously register that you heard a sound, your amygdala has already triggered a cascade. Adrenaline released, pupils dilated, heartbeat elevated, muscles primed for movement. Your body is running the emergency protocol before your mind has even opened the file. This is not a flaw. In a world where a leopard in the grass could take your life in under 3 seconds, the cost of a false positive was embarrassment. The cost of a false negative was death. Natural selection does not reward accurate threat assessment. It rewards survival, and surviving for millions of years meant being wrong about danger constantly and alive because of it. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman called this fast automatic thinking system 1. It does not deliberate. It does not weigh evidence. It pattern matches against a library of threats built up across your evolutionary history, and it acts. The rational, slow-thinking system 2 catches up eventually, but by then, your palms are already sweating. Here is the thing that makes this stranger than it sounds. Your amygdala does not update its threat library in real time. It cannot look around at your apartment and decide that eagles are no longer a concern. The emotional and physiological response it generates is the same whether the threat is a predator or a deadline, a shadow in the corner or an unread email, a rustle in the grass or the feeling that someone somewhere is judging you. The shapes of modern anxiety map almost perfectly onto ancestral threats. Fear of being watched. That was predator detection. Social rejection triggering the same neural circuits as physical pain. That is because for a species that survived in groups, being cast out of the tribe was a death sentence. Fear of the dark. Every ambush predator in your evolutionary history hunted after sundown. Your nervous system did not get the memo that street lights exist. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar, famous for his work on social group sizes in primates, has argued that the human brain evolved primarily to manage social threat, not physical danger, but the constant, exhausting calculation of who trusts you, who resents you, who might turn the group against you. Status threat, reputation threat, belonging threat. These were survival threats. The brain treats them that way still. This is why public speaking terrifies people more than death in most surveys. Standing in front of a group, being evaluated, risking judgment. That is the neurological equivalent of standing exposed in an open field with predators watching. Your brain knows the difference technically. Your amygdala does not care. Think about the last time you woke up at 3 a.m. No alarm, no sound, just a sudden electric wakefulness that felt like a warning. There is research suggesting that this is not random. This is your circadian rhythm intersecting with an ancient pattern. The hours just before dawn were historically the most dangerous. Predators were most active. The fire was lowest. The group was most vulnerable. Some part of your biology still knows this. Some part of you is still keeping watch. Anthropologist David Geary has written about what he calls the evolved psychological mechanisms that humans carry into environments they were never designed for. Office buildings, social media feeds, traffic jams. Each of these environments triggers ancestral threat responses that have no modern outlet. Your stress hormones spike in a board meeting the way they would spike before a confrontation with a rival group. The hormones are real. The danger is not. And because the danger is not real, there is no resolution. The adrenaline has nowhere to go. This is what makes modern anxiety so persistent. In the ancestral environment, threat responses had endpoints. The predator came, or it did not. The confrontation happened, or it was avoided. Fear peaked, and then it resolved. Modern life generates low-grade, chronic, unresolvable threat signals. Your amygdala fires and nothing happens. No escape, no fight. No resolution, just the hum of a nervous system running an emergency protocol in a building with no emergencies. But here's the twist. That same hypervigilance, that same hair-trigger threat detection was also the engine of human creativity. You were not just scanning for predators. You were pattern finding. And pattern finding taken far enough is science, art, language, story, mathematics. The brain that saw a face in the shadows to survive also saw constellations, invented narrative, built gods. Terror and wonder use the same machinery. Neurologist V.S. Ramachandran has written about the overlap between the systems that detect agency in the environment, the sense that something out there has intention, has eyes, is watching, and the systems that underlie religious experience, artistic perception, and abstract thought. To perceive threat is to perceive meaning. Your ancestors did not just run from predators. They told stories about them. They painted them on cave walls. They turned fear into something they could hold and pass on. The neural architecture that makes you certain someone is watching you in an empty room is the same architecture that looked at the night sky and imagined gods. The same architecture that composed symphonies and built cathedrals and wrote the stories that outlasted the bodies that wrote them. You did not inherit a broken alarm system. You inherited an instrument tuned so finely that it picks up signals that are not there, because picking up signals that are not there was, for 2 million years, the price of staying alive long enough to imagine anything at all. So the next time you are sitting in a quiet room and the hair on your neck rises for no reason, that is not your brain malfunctioning. That is 2 million years of survival, still on duty, still watching the dark, still refusing to let you be prey. You are safe. You always were. But some part of you, the oldest part, the part that kept every ancestor you ever had alive long enough to become you, is not ready to believe that yet. And honestly, given everything it has seen, you cannot blame it.